Good morning. Welcome to the Community for Conscious Living weekly live broadcast. Today is Sunday, November 12th of 2023. The Community for Conscious Living is a community dedicated to personal transformation for universal harmony, healing the planet by making inspired changes in ourselves and in our daily lives that create a sustainable environment in a peaceful world. Thank you for being here today. Our topic today is 3 simple steps to help you to add meaning to your life. And if you haven't found it yet, to find meaning to your life, if you already are on track with it, to maintain your focus and stay on track with it. In our crazy, mixed up world right now, it may feel like, finding meaning. I don't know if you're like this, but sometimes I feel like this. Finding meaning feels like a little bit of a selfish thing to do right now. But at the same time, consciously or subconsciously, we're looking for meaning. What the heck is going on here? What does it mean? What does it mean for our planet, for our world? What does it mean to me? How am I supposed to live my life meanwhile? Am I supposed to just get on with it as if nothing's happening? Or am I supposed to do something to contribute? What is it? And I'm going to use 3 quotes from the great Sheikh Muhyiddin Ibn Arabi from he was a sheikh born in the mid-1100s, I believe it was, and incredible revelations that he brought through. But these are very simple, 3 very simple quotes that he shared that help us to find meaning, to stay on track with our meaning, to make sense of life and the world, and also to be very intentional about that. And, so I want to take us through a process of centering, aligning, tapping into our deepest inner heart and that connection with source and with all that is. And then I'm going to share with you 3 steps that are based on quotes from him, these 3 quotes that really help us to live with meaning, live with intention, live with purpose, make sense of the world, and stay aligned with who we are and what we're here to be in this world. So that's for today. If you have a pen and paper or a journal, favorite journal, please bring that with you, as I would love for you to actually write these things down and get a format for making this a part of a daily practice for you. All right. And with that, let's go ahead and come into our meditation and healing circle. Let's come into our circle sitting side by side, shoulder to shoulder, elbow to elbow, knee to knee, coming together as one. And let's take a full and gentle breath, centering in through your heart. And I know I need to do a little heart tapping to get started today. So if it feels good for you, just do a little tapping on your heart center. Release any little clutter. And again, take some breaths into your heart center. Let's come into our meditation and healing circle, sitting side by side, shoulder to shoulder, elbow to elbow, knee to knee, coming together as one. In the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allah. And just bring everything, your face, your eyes, your ears, your nose, your mouth, your throat, your heart center, everything to face toward the center of our circle. And just imagine this stream of pure divine light streaming through the center of the circle, right? And this light that's coming through the center of our circle, filling this entire space with pure divine light. And just let your heart face into this light. And just feel your heart, let yourself breathe through your heart center and breathe this light into your body. This light, it's cleansing. The light is purifying. The light is illuminating and awakening Just let yourself receive this light into your heart space, into your throat space, into all of your senses, and into your whole body, all the way into your core. And as you come to rest, just let it travel down all the way into your belly and through your hips, and through your pelvic floor, and bring your hara, right? That ball of energy at the front of your belly space. Bring that to face into the center of the circle and just rest there. We let all parts of you come together as they are. Whatever may be moving for you, whatever may be happening in your world, just let it all come together. Let that light just travel through your pores, through your skin, through everything, all the way into your center. In the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate, we call on you. We ask you to send your essence of your unconditional love. Just imagine this pure, unconditional love streaming into the center of our circle, streaming in, filling this entire space with pure, unconditional love. And again, let that stream into your heart center. Let your heart center be like a breathing portal, and breathe that in all the way in as deep as you can into your body. And as you exhale, just notice any tension or clutter in your heart space. And if you want to, again, do some tapping around your heart center, just let that loosen up any of the tension or constriction around your heart space. And as you exhale, just breathe that tension, clutter, constriction, breathe it out, blow it out with your exhale. And as you inhale, draw in that pure divine light and unconditional love into your heart. And let it move as it moves into your heart. Let it move all the way through your heart, all the way as deep as you can into the center of your body. Right? If you imagine the anatomy of your energy body, you have that pillar of light that comes through the top of your head and along the center of your body, all the way halfway front to back, halfway side to side, centered in the core of your body, this vertical core of energy that moves all the way through your head space, through your heart space, through your belly space, through your pelvic floor. And then from that center, you have these subtle energy centers that also known as chakras, more commonly known as chakras, that are like perceptors, maybe like eyes that are, coming out the front and the back of your body and through various places in your body that are subtle energy perceptors. Like if you took away the physical, right? If you had a picture of yourself and you took away the physical and you'd see this energy body, and these energy centers are like perceptors, right? They perceive information and they're constantly feeding information to your subtle body, right? Which is integrated into your physical body and does inform your physical body. Even when we think that, like, oh, well, we see with our eyes and hear with our ears and speak with our mouths or vocal cords, and the mind is what takes in the information and decides what to do with it. But really, like that subtle energy center, when you feel things and perceive things, it can like affect your nervous system and how your nervous system responds. And if you know instinctually, you will respond to things before your mind has an opportunity to decide what to do with it, right? Your mind is actually taking in information from your subtle body, and then your emotions are, your subtle body perceives, your emotions respond, your heart center responds. And you feel emotions, you feel sensations in your body, you feel like, does that feel right or not? And your heart responds and gives you a constriction or an opening, which then translates a lot of times to an emotion. And then your mind decides what to do, right? So your mind is not the ruler, your mind is not the leader. Your mind is in service to what your subtle body is perceiving, how your heart is responding to what's around you, and how your nervous system, your autonomic nervous system, your heart rate, your breath, everything else is responding to what it perceives, right? So turn your perception, because this is one thing you can do, right? Because your mind will keep you living on memories of what it has witnessed before. But right now, you have the opportunity to turn your perception and all of your sensory chakras, if you will, your subtle energy centers, to really face into this pure divine light from your source, to this unconditional love from your source, and let it perceive that. Let it take in the information of pure divine light, unconditional love, and let those places maybe holding perceptions from the past be reset by this pure divine light and unconditional love. And again, let's call on that eternal compassion. Compassion, Ya Rahman. The compassion is that womb of living consciousness, womb of eternal compassion that holds the entire existence of this 3D material realm. So attune or set an intention that all of your subtle energy perceptors tune into and receive this transmission of pure divine light, unconditional love, and eternal compassion. And let your whole body, as it breathes, as you inhale, draw in that light and love and compassion into this vertical core of your body that runs through the top of your head, through the center of your body. All of your subtle energy centers draw into that. It's like your energetics, central nervous system. And so as all of your subtle energy perceptors turn to face a pure divine light, unconditional love, eternal compassion, and take in that transmission through those subtle energy centers, inhale, draw it into your vertical core, and let the whole vertical core of your subtle energy body be infused with pure divine light, unconditional love, eternal compassion. And as you exhale, just release anything of the other, anything of the constriction. Because at the core of your being, you are pure divine light, unconditional love, and eternal compassion. What happens in this world is we experience what looks like and feels like other. And then we put protective barriers around this core of truth, pure divine light, unconditional love, and eternal compassion that is who you are. So just let yourself, all of your perceptors, receive the pure divine light, unconditional love, eternal compassion. Draw it all the way into your central vertical core. And as you exhale, relax, release, and let your energy body really drop into your physical body. All the way in, like lean back into the back of your heart center and drop down and land into your pelvic bowl. This body is your vessel, it is your vehicle, and it is like your dashboard because it contains all of your your organs for your physical body, your sight, sound, feeling, right, for your nervous system. It's fully integrated. So let your energy body really drop in and fully take up the space in this physical body. As you inhale, draw in that light and love and compassion into your vertical core. As you exhale, let your energy body really drop into your pelvic bowl. Anchor into that center of gravity at the center of your pelvic bowl, that center place there where your life force energy springs forth, your creative life force energy. Land in there, ground into your hips. You might want to move your hips side to side and really drop into your body. Feel your energy move all the way through your legs, all the way through your knees, your calves and shins, your ankles, into your feet, all the way making contact with the earth. And again, anchor into that center of gravity right in the middle of your pelvic bowl and lean back into your spine and bring your breath, breathe into that space behind your heart, right? Like if you're looking at yourself sideways, you've got your spine and then you've got your breastbone. And in the center of that, you've got your lungs and your heart. And then let yourself kind of lean into that space behind your heart, between your heart and your spine. And just lean into that space and breathe in from there and let this pure divine light, unconditional love, eternal compassion, just let it fill the whole chest space, all the way into your lungs and your heart, to your breastbone, to your ribs, to your backbone, your spinal column, and all the way up into your brain. Just let all of that be infused with pure divine light, unconditional love, eternal compassion, and let that move all the way down your spine, into your tailbone, through your diaphragm, into your belly. Let your whole body absorb this pure divine light, unconditional love, and eternal compassion. And just let your whole body have breath, breathing this into your core. And as you exhale, really dropping into your physical body, really take up the space within this vessel that you've been given to live in on this beautiful planet that we are on. I continue with that breath. It's really important to spend this time to really get into the body, especially during times when things can be very traumatic in the world, because that tends to have us dissociate from our physical selves because it feels unsafe to be in the physical body. So this exercise of really getting into your physical body and grounding here, and make an intention, if you will, if this feels okay for you, to visualize or see the world, perceive the world through your subtle energy centers, and let that be integrated in with your physical body. That's what really gives us the clearest perception and the safest place that we can be, right? It gives us that helps us to answer that question of who am I here? Why am I here? What am I supposed to do here? Right? It's hard to have a clear answer to that when you're not here. The best place to perceive that from is being here being in your body. So continue that, you can elongate your spine, lean into your spine, that space behind your heart, breathe from there, breathing in that pure divine light, unconditional love, eternal compassion, breathing it in, letting it fill your vertical core, right? Which your vertical core already contains all of that. So it's like breathing it in to what already exists and amplifying. Like we talked about the tuning fork, tapping a tuning fork, putting it next to another tuning fork. They both start to vibrate at the same frequency. And as my teacher used to say, until there is no inner or outer, but only one. So your inner being is resonating at the same as this outer that you are attuning to, right? Calling in and attuning to. And there is only one. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of the one most merciful, ever compassionate. So, at a time when meaning and purpose, we have an opportunity right now to really, we may or may not make sense of what's going on in the world, but we have an opportunity to intentionally attune and align our energy so that we continue to be what we're here to be, and to evolve as we're here to evolve, and to contribute, at the very least on an energetic frequency level, what we're here to contribute to this cosmic soup, right? Our ocean of living consciousness. The poet Rumi says, you are not a drop in the ocean, you are the ocean in a drop. What your drop of ocean, how it resonates, contributes to the vibration of the greater ocean, right? And yet you are ocean, so you really can't be anything else. But to be like one, in alignment, vibrationally resonant, and at peace with the ocean within you and the ocean that you are, helps to, shall we say, smooth the ripples of the ocean and create harmony and peace. So there's the first quote from Ibn Arabi, Muhyiddin Ibn Arabi, that I want to share. These are you're just going to say these are so simple. Duh. Is intention is what gives meaning to your actions. Intention gives meaning to your actions. Very simple. It's a testament to starting every day, at the very least, with intention, so that you set yourself on a course and in a groove to live that day with intention. So I asked you to get pen and paper. So as you breathe into this space, especially this space behind your heart, because there's like this subtle energy, like it's this connection with your source that breathes breath into you, that breathes inspiration into you, in that space behind your heart. So let yourself breathe into that space and really feel, drop into that space, put your focus, your attention, like visualize that space, put yourself there if you can, as you breathe, and let your whole body kind of breathe into that space behind your heart. And feel into, is there an inspired intention? An intention that inspires you to want to live into today? What intention? And if that feels too complicated, just, we all perceive differently. So if you have an idea or a knowing or a gut instinct or a feeling, go with it. What is an intention that you would like to live with today, live into today? And take a minute and breathe with that. Let it come through for you, and just invite your mind to be a witness and listen. Listen to what wants to come through. And when you get a feel for that, write that down. Intention gives meaning to your actions. And just make an intention that your actions for this day are in service to your intention, aligned with your intention, whatever that intention may be for you. And then just speak to your own consciousness and say to your own consciousness, hey, we're making this intention today. I want to invite you, call you to live in service of this intention today as we move through this day, because you'll forget it, right? Or you might not, but most of us at some point in the day do forget it, and I want to say, if you do forget it and you feel like, oh, well, I totally blew that one, just know, all right, this next quote is for you. Interpretation is what gives meaning to your life. That's the second quote. Interpretation is what gives meaning to your life. So to end each day with interpretation, end each day with interpretation. Interpretation is what gives meaning to your life. So how you interpret what happens, especially if you go on through your day and say, oh, I'm going to live with this intention, and halfway through the day you forget it, and then you do all kinds of things and you're like, oh my gosh, why did I do that? That was totally not aligned with my intention. This is where that interpretation comes in. What did forgetting teach you about your intention? Because sometimes the forgetting teaches us as much as the remembering. So it's interpretation. I remember seeing this interview during California wildfires at one time. I've shared this before on well, it's been a while. There was a news channel that was there interviewing people as their houses were burning down. And they were talking to this one man, like you could see his house across the street behind him in flames, the whole thing in flames, this giant inferno. And they were saying, oh my gosh, so, what now? What are you going to do? And as if he's had time to think about it. But, the guy, it just was a brilliant quote, because he said, hey, with a smile on his face, the difference between a disaster and an adventure is attitude. I don't know the guy's name, but I so appreciated hearing that. And to see him with this kind of like, you know what? Not a whole lot I can do about it right now, but the difference between a disaster and an adventure is attitude. And I'm going to adopt the attitude that this is an adventure, and I'm going to see what comes next, right? So, like how we interpret the events of the day or of the year or of whatever gives us meaning, puts meaning on our lives. We can get all kinds of meaning for our lives, right? And what we focus on is what is going to feed us and nourish us, right? So how will you interpret what happens or what has happened? So if there's something in your life yesterday, the day before, the world events, the what the heck's going on in our world right now, how you interpret it is what gives meaning to your life. And I'll say a word about the mundane, right? When you look at the war, there's the the Israeli-Palestinian war right now. That is so heartbreaking to see, and of course we have the Russia-Ukraine war, and I know there are so many other things going on right now. We can look at that in a number of different ways, and you scroll through Facebook and you see this argument and that argument, and people, sharing their different perspectives and sometimes battling each other with their different perspectives. And, you can look at it. Some people are saying, oh, this is a religious thing that goes back forever. Some people are saying this is a territorial thing that goes back, from the end of World War II. Some people are saying that this is, it's that lots of different things. And I saw two different videos that were made prior to this conflict. One about the alternative, they're both about alternative trade routes. One is about the US and Israel and the UK trying to build an alternate canal to the Suez Canal that will, that's going to go right through Jerusalem and Gaza. And they're trying to, you know, clear that area so that they can build that canal. And another one that shows these trade routes that China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea are trying to establish. And it's a race between the two to see who's going to establish the international trade routes, the best international trade routes, because that's going to be what's really going to uh, determine their world domination and their economic positions in the world. So it's, power, resources, the territory, all of that kind of stuff. It has nothing to do with people, has nothing to do with religions, has nothing to do with anything other than to the fact that we partake in trade and consume, right? Because we are consumers in the eyes of some of these leaders, if you will, right? Sometimes we're just numbers, we're just consumers, sometimes we're just in the way, we got to be cleared out, whatever, right? So there's all kinds of different ways that you can look at all of this, and then you can look at it from one of the things that has actually helped me as I somehow went down a rabbit hole on YouTube and was looking at some videos of people who had had near-death experiences, pronounced dead and returned. And I had one at a very young age, too young to cognitively remember, but I have remembered it in various types of bodywork and healing sessions. Remembered it quite vividly. But anyway, to listen to these stories and hear the things that people say just about how thin our veils are between this world and the world of pure consciousness, and how this world really is an illusion. The veils are thin, our guides are right there. And this is like, this simulation that we're here to go through. And I have to say, it helps me to think of all the people who are losing their lives right now and losing loved ones, that this is such a blip on the radar of the big thing. And when we leave our bodies, that the experience that we get to have on the other side, the pure consciousness, is a relief from the pain and the suffering for those who are in pain and suffering here. Not advocating by any stretch of any imagination for anyone to willfully leave the body, but to, when it does happen, there is a lot of mercy there, God willing, and peace, and get to experience the pure love and to see into this realm for what it is in its limited capacity and its limited scope. Such a small scope of the bigger picture, the pure consciousness. However, one of the beautiful things is while we are here in this body, we have this opportunity to tap into that pure consciousness and to remember it, right? One of the Sufi practices, one of the most healing practices, is called remembrance. It's similar to what we do, where we're breathing in that pure divine light and unconditional love and eternal compassion to help you to awaken that truth of the core of who you are, and to open your sensory perceptions through your subtle body sensory perceptions so that you can really live from that place and perceive from that place and not get caught in the limitations of the mind and even the nervous system, the physical body, and physical body's perceptions and reactions to this realm. So there's all different ways that you can interpret what is happening in our world. And I do advocate as much as possible to perceive from the subtle body and let yourself just let's make an intention right now. As you, again, breathe that light and love and compassion into your vertical core. And let yourself really reset, reestablish into that vertical core, bringing that light, love, and compassion into your core. Lean back into that space behind your heart, leaning against your spine. Drop down and land into your pelvic bowl. Feel yourself, your energy body, especially if the things I just talked about cause you to leave your body and respond to your nervous system, physical nervous system, is let yourself come back into that subtle body, aligning with that light, love, and compassion at your vertical core. Drop down, land into your pelvic bowl. Really sit into your seat. Lean to that space behind your heart. Breathe with that breath that breathes in through the back of your heart. Feel yourself light, love, compassion. Ya Nur, Ya Wadud, Ya Rahman. And just call to your guides, whoever your guides may be, and whoever wants to show up to be with you, and just ask for their help and their support in helping you to make sense of, like informing your reflections of what's happening in the world and helping your body and your nervous system to align with the realities that they can easily perceive beyond what we can easily perceive. And just receive their information, right? It may not come through in the mental, but everybody perceives differently. Sometimes you just get a sensation, right? A feeling. Sometimes you get a knowing. Sometimes you get visual images. Sometimes you hear. Sometimes you just be, right? Let yourself really just be open to however that may come. Pay attention to it. Receive it. Feel it. Because the more you let this inform how you perceive, how you reflect, what meaning you make out of what happens, right? Because your interpretation, how you interpret, is what gives meaning to your life. There's so many ways you can interpret, so many levels of our creation. It's like a continuum from the most dense to the most subtle. So wherever you are on that continuum is going to affect how you interpret. So the more you can tune into that subtle body and ask for that interpretation through there, you're going to have a different meaning that you associate with the life. I'm not saying any of them are wrong or bad, or any of them are great or good. You know, but I happen to find more peace to glean the interpretation from the subtle body perspective as much as possible. So, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Receive that and ask your guides for help and support. And sometimes you ask during the day and the perceptions come in at night while you're sleeping, right? Because, you know, in the Sufi tradition, they consider this world where we think we're awake here as being the time where we're really asleep. And when we sleep, that's the time where we can travel back and forth between the realms. It's more of an awakened time. So depending again on perception, right, where you are, this is the time of sleeping, that's the time of awakening or being more awake. So sometimes when you ask in the time where your eyes are open and you're in the awake time on the earth realm, the answers will really come in when you go to sleep and you're in that in-between realm. In your dreams, as Gaby has talked to us about dream interpretation, right? So let that really come in. Ask for what your heart seeks. So the first of the quotes is, intention is what gives meaning to your actions. So the recommendation there is start every day with intention and invite your energy body, your conscious and subconscious bodies to serve that intention throughout the day, even when your mind forgets. The second is to end each day with reflection and interpretation, because interpretation is what gives meaning to your life. How you interpret it, right, determines what it means to you, and that gives meaning to your life. The third quote is, hold on. The third quote is that you don't receive your blessings until you have acknowledged them. You don't receive your blessings until you have acknowledged them. So this is saying, this is that gratitude piece, right? As you end your reflections, then gratitude. And gratitude throughout at every point of the day. But gratitude is what acknowledges the blessings you've received. And I like to, with gratitude, really be specific with gratitude by looking for the positive signs. What are the positive signs that are specific to what you have, the intention you've set, the interpretation you've seen? All of this is helping to really align your whole body with a trajectory, right? We're like receivers. And like Manny talked about in the Ocean of Sound program, if you're a part of that, there is like on all radio frequencies, there is a carrier wave, a basic carrier wave that then all of the other frequencies for all the different channels travel along. There is a basic carrier wave, and then there's all the other frequencies travel on that carrier wave. We as radio receivers, right? We've got our little antenna out everywhere, all our little energy perceptors, and we can attune them, like set our dial on our receiver to any channel, and we will play through our beings, receive into our beings, and play through what is riding on that channel. So it is important to attune, as we attune here, to pure divine light, to unconditional love, to eternal compassion, whatever your being needs to attune to. Attuning to, forgiveness, attuning to gratitude, attuning to all of the patience, attuning to meaning, to understanding, to seeing, to hearing, to knowing, to creativity, to whatever that may be for you, right? There's a number of things that are really divine powers that create this universe. And you can set your intention to attune to any of those. And when we speak in sacred sound codes and divine names, that's what we're doing, is attuning to the frequencies of those divine powers that we're wanting to tap into, that we're wanting to have inform us and play through our bodies, through our channels, because we are here as spirit beings in physical bodies, right? When the physical body dies, it returns to the earth, and the spirit leaves to become, join that ocean of pure consciousness. And so when the spirit is here in this body, there's a beautiful merging that gives you an opportunity to experience life in a different way here on this earth. While you are here and your spirit is in this body, it has that opportunity to attune and to realize, to recognize through this cognitive experience, the divine powers. And you are here to, as you heal and cleanse and purify yourself, to become a purer and clearer representative of spirit and form. And that by setting intention, by reflecting and interpreting and adding meaning, giving meaning to the events of your day, of your week, of your year, of your life, of the world, and by being in gratitude, acknowledging the blessings you've received and being very specific. Okay, I set an intention. I interpreted a meaning. What are the positive signs in that? Specific positive signs. Because this is what helps us to really glean the blessings. Like, oh, I recognize that. Wow, look at that. I set this intention. I moved on this trajectory. Living in this realm. And look at these positive signs that the universe is affirming, the universe is communicating, the universe is supporting what I'm here to be and to do. And it's evolving me. I'm growing from this. I'm growing, I'm evolving, I'm getting more insight, I'm getting clarity, I'm living with purpose and meaning. It puts you on that trajectory and keeps you there. If you can make this a daily practice. Intention, starting with intention, ending with interpretation, reflection, and counting your blessings with gratitude and specific positive signs. It's going to put you on the trajectory, keep you on course. And these are the 3 simple steps based on the 3 simple quotes from Muhyiddin Ibn Arabi that add meaning to your life. Add meaning to your life. And especially in these times when things can be particularly challenging and feel hopeless and feel like, oh my gosh, what the heck is going on? And what's the meaning of this? You still are here for purpose and you still have meaning. And the more that you can align to that, remember your drop of ocean within the larger ocean, your ocean within your drop is going to feed, right? You're going to feed and radiate this harmony, this vibration into the greater ocean and contribute to the greater good. So let's take a minute now and I gave you a minute to set intention. If you want to take some time to reflect, and I hope you have during the time that I've been talking, reflect on meaning. And then the third is take a moment with gratitude. Gratitude and really looking for what is a sign that the universe has sent you, given to you, shown you that it is supporting your intention and shepherding you along on the pathway. Right? And again, always, always, always ask for help from your source directly. I like to ask directly from source, and you know that the guides are here in service, the angels are here in service, right? They're intermediaries and they're going to help and support. So say yes to them, open to them, say yes to their support, their help. Ask for help to hear their whisperings to you or they're screaming at you, whatever that may be, and really let that come through you. Let it live through you. Let it inform you to really help you to show up and be who you're here to be, to do what you're here to do, to express how you're here to express. It's all on purpose and intentional. So let's end with a moment of gratitude, giving thanks to our source, thanks to the angels, the guides, the healers, the helpers, the prophets, all who are here to support. And thanks to you for showing up and for being willing to do this work within yourself. As the Community for Conscious Living is about personal transformation for universal harmony, because your state of being makes a difference in the greater good, and it also makes a difference in your world. It shapes your world. So thank you for showing up and being as you are here to be. So with that, I want to open now for Q&A. If you're on the phone, press *2. If you're on the webcast, type in any questions or comments or sharings or reflections that you'd like to share. If you're watching us on Facebook, then pop over to there's a link there in the description. You can click on that link to join us by phone or computer, and we are going to end the recording on Facebook and otherwise here. So if you're listening to the recording, You're welcome to join us and invited to join us live on Sundays at 10 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time, 7 a.m. U.S. Pacific Time. You can find information for joining us live at communityforconsciousliving.com. Communityforconsciousliving.com. While you're there, sign up to receive reminders and replays. When you do, you receive 2 free gifts. One is just a one sheet, not just, I'm trying to not say that word anymore. One is a one sheet that gives you a 10 spiritual principles of our human existence, why we're here, what this world is about, helps us to keep in focus and stay on track with that. And we need constant reminders, don't we? And the other is a 15-minute downloadable guided meditation that I hope you'll download and make a part of your daily practice so that you can just reattune to this pure divine light, unconditional love, and eternal compassion that is the truth of who you are at the core of your being. All right, and with that, I thank you very much for being here today. I look forward to seeing you next week. And if you need anything from me, meanwhile, I'm here. Please reach out. Thanks.